I thought I'd do another quick video here. There's something that came in the mail yesterday. I had ordered on Atari Age, a guy named Robin had designed what's called the Ultimate 8-bit cartridge. And you don't get this shell here. This is something you had to make separately. You basically get this here. And what this is, it basically emulates cartridges in the Atari 8-bit line. And more than just the cartridge, it emulates a bunch of different formats. The BIOS format is upgradable, and you can either use what's called a CAR format, bin format, I think EXE format, a whole bunch of other formats that you load onto an SD card, and it will give you a menu system on your computer. Now, this says right on here, if it'll focus, it was designed for the XL and XE, but I have found that it does work on the other Ataris as well. I have an Atari 400 I'll show you in a minute. But again, this is what you get from him. No SD card, just the device. A reset button here, which he says in his documentation causes a system crash, in which case when you press this, you can then hit the reset on your Atari and get back to the main menu without power cycling it. On the back, this is a way to upgrade your firmware on this. And this is a fully programmable gate array chip that he uses. Now, Robin, from what I understand, is the original designer of this. He doesn't make them anymore. Matter of fact, I got his very last one. This is one he was holding on to in case he ever had any problems with any of the other ones. But he said they've been out so long and no one's ever complained. He actually sold me his last one. Another gentleman on Atari Age now took over the reins in making them because this is open source. Anyone can make it. All the documentations are online. If you feel like you can do this kind of work, you can actually make your own, update it. I know that the new one being made, there's actually a hole he's making in the center to make it fit in these Atari cartridges a little bit better. When you get these cartridges, they're very hard to open. Most people break these tabs, and I can't say that I did not break one as well, but I was able to glue it back on, and it looks okay. But in this version here, you got to clip this out. You have to clip this out, file a lot more down. On the new design, I guess this can be left in place, and I think this can be left in place as well. But in any case, I don't have that one. So this I originally had gotten for an Atari XE that I won on eBay, which I have right here in the box. I got it for a really good deal. The unit is pretty pristine, but it's in the box, and the box is delicate, and I don't feel like taking it out. So for right now, I'm doing testing on another machine. So here's my Atari 400. Now again, the Ultimate Cart is not specifically designed for this. It's designed for the entire line, but I figured it might work in it, and I have found in testing that it does to a degree. The Atari 400 here was originally designed to have 4K, and the Atari 800 was supposed to have 8K at launch, but prices of RAM had come down, so when this was released, it was actually with 16K, and the 800 had, I believe, I'm trying to remember if it was 32K. I don't remember what the Atari 800 originally released with, but I know this was released with 16K. I have since upgraded this internally with an upgrade board from Atari. So this is actually a 48K. So this is pretty much like a maxed out Atari 800 minus the better keyboard and a right cartridge slot. But honestly, I don't know of too many products that ever use the right cartridge slot. And there's something about the 400, this keyboard, I always liked as a kid. So I really didn't want an 800. I was completely fine with this 400, and it's in really good shape. It took a little TLC, a little cleaning, but you can see the badge, everything looks really good on this. Now, one of the issues with, at least on the 4 and 800, is that when you put a cartridge in, there's a little button that gets depressed. When you close it to tell it you can turn on and play the game. But this is that little issue with this particular device. But you can see the SD card comes out quite a bit. And when you do put it in, and we'll have to get a better view here to do it. So it does fit in here fine, but it won't let you close the door without hitting the SD card, and closing it is probably going to damage it. So I just put a little screw in here and a piece of tape to mimic the cartridge being closed. And the other Ataris later on, like the XL, XE series, the XE Game Station, don't have a lid at all, so it's not a problem. So I'm putting it here just because I want to test it in it, and I'm going to hit the power switch on this side here, and this is what you get. Now, what I found, at least on the 400 computer that I have here, is that it won't display the menu until you hit the reset button once. I don't believe this is an issue with the other Ataris, but at least on this, you do. So hit this reset button, and you come up to the menu. Now, a lot of these programs I have here are not going to run because this does not have enough RAM in it, but a lot of the older games do run. So basically you get this menu here, you just put the games on the SD card, you come up to this menu and you pick a game that you want. So let me go into here, and let's go down to something like Defender. There we go. Oop, bink. You can just press your button here, and you have a game of Defender going. So it treats it like a regular cartridge. So all you need to do now at this point is hit your start button, and you're playing some Defender. So from what I understand, Robin does not make these anymore. He made the initial batch, he made it open source so other people can make it. And there's another gentleman in Atari that's making a few of them, at least a few batches. I'd missed that batch, and luckily was able to get hold of Robin and convince him to sell me his last one. Sorry guys, I'm only one-handed here, so I'm not going to be doing very good in the game. Now when you want to leave these games, what normally you would do is you would just press this button here. When you do that, it causes a crash, and then you would press this. But on my 400 it doesn't always work, so I do have to power cycle it. It works sometimes, not every time. So hit this back up, and hit the reset button, and get the menu. So again, I don't think all these steps I'm going through is going to be an issue when I try it on my XE game system, but on this machine, it is. Let's go on some Donkey Kong, and there you go. So it works really, really well. I think I paid something like $65, 65 British pounds to get it, and it was shipped, and I got it in a couple of days. I'm really happy with it. I just have to finish up my little cartridge here, so it'll be a little more protected when it's done. But, you know, if you guys are an Atari age and you see these still being made, I think they're really good to have. You know, I have my Atari 5200 with my Ultimate SD card from Atari Max, and I have a bunch of different controllers for it, but there's still some programs that are on the 8-bit line here. They're not on the 5200, and not everyone has, like I do, some of the alternative joysticks for the 5200 to make those games a little bit more fun. But I just wanted to give you a quick little seeing of this little device here. This guy did a really nice job, and I'm really happy with it. So everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please like or subscribe if you wish. Leave any comments below. And remember, happy gaming.